All right. Welcome to No Football Filtered. I'm virtual today. I'm able to make it to Craig's places late, but luckily Craig made it so as well. So Craig, how are you feeling? Before we get to everything that's been going on, how are you feeling personally?
I'm actually feeling very good. I'm about 80%. I'm back to drinking my Pepsi. So,
Yeah, I can tell you're cutting that out for a while.
yeah, I haven't had Pepsi for a little while, but I love my Pepsi. So, it's good to be back and be good
Yeah. No, you're
to,
looking really good,
to be
even
working and,
on camera.
put
Yeah,
on back a little weight and, you know,
yeah.
so
You know,
not so bad. Just really
well,
sad to
better.
hear the news that's happening and,
Yeah.
really want to move forward with the football and just 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is you're looking well, but uh, the news that's been coming out has not been looking good for Jamaican football as a whole. But to get to that, I'm going to introduce Tiga from Sports Down the Middle. He'll be joining us. Yeah, welcome, Tiga. You there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening, gentlemen. Craig,
Decent
what's up?
Tiga, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, to summarize, now from me, I don't know the whole story. I just know what's kind of been out there. There's been issues getting back, travel issues, issues with friendly in between, and all these things that happening with JFF. Of course, we're Coach Paul. So I'm ask you first from your perspective, or what can you give us an indication of what's happening in behind the scenes?
Brandon, I mean, Tigat, are you hearing the same
Yeah,
challenges as Brandon?
it's breaking up. It's
Yeah,
breaking
Brandon,
up.
you're breaking up a lot.
Yeah, like the signal.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're breaking up a
Breaking
lot.
up the
That
signal.
signal is bad, Brandon.
Okay. Let me go on my Okay, I went on my data. Does that sound better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, all right. Okay, so yeah, what I was saying was, for me, I haven't been on behind the scenes too much, so I just know from what I'm seeing in public and about the travel issues, the coach resigning. But I wanted to ask you, Craig, from your perspective, what have you seen, and if you can share anything behind the scenes at all, or just to update the people from what's been happening.
Well, without releasing too much information, because I'm privy to a lot of what has happened. Um, I think that the, the it was poorly organized. Um, had some issues to do with the payments. They were supposed to charter a flight together with Suriname, and something happened with the payments for Jamaica. So the Surinamese sold the seats to their fans that the JFF was supposed to get, because the payment didn't come, and then they were stuck because they couldn't get any flights directly into Jamaica. Some flights into Trinidad with great long layovers and all sorts of problems until they actually didn't have a flight. Um, the government had to step in and help a little bit. Um, the challenge is I can't say too much. Yeah, Leon had to help. I can't say too much because I don't want to disclose, or even make it look even worse. But because Jamaica's shame is my shame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm with? So if we go to the public domain and spill all the beans, what's really going on behind the scenes, then we would have a huge challenge. You know, people taking us seriously, professionally, and that would, you know, shrink the chances of players getting contracts, people wanting to deal with us as a country, you know. But what I can say is that this last debacle was unfortunate, unprofessional, and indescribably crazy, you know. I mean, we've been traveling with Phoenix for over 15 years now, and not one time have we been in that situation, you know. And we have people at the helm of the JFF that behave as if they are the kings and the what do you call it? The word when you believe that you are the person to go to for information. What's that word?
Not the savior.
Not the authors, not the savior, but they believe, they act as if they are the knowledge. They have all the knowledge about how to do this thing. Yeah. And then you're in Suriname, stuck. Now, I can't blame the president because his job is not to do the organizing. His job, like my job at Phoenix, is not to go and book the tickets. It's not my job to organize the visas. It's not my job to do all of those things. So being a president of Phoenix, I also understand that it can't be Mike Ricketts' job to do those things. It's the general secretary's job and the team manager's job to book tickets, to get the players where they need to go, make sure that they're treated properly, make sure they're comfortable, make sure they have good hotels, make sure they have good ground transportation from the airline to the hotels, make sure that the fields that they're going to play on are decent, make sure they have enough time in going to the country to adapt to the fields, make sure they have a proper meals, proper physiotherapy, everything there, and give the coach a job which is simply to go on the pitch and coach, not stress out the man to the point where he's now resigning. So that's where I am. I mean, we raised Leon properly. We raised Leon to be a good person and a leader. And he took the bull by the horns. He got the players to play the game because I don't believe the players wanted to play. He didn't even want to tell me some of the stuff that's going on because he knows how I would react. But he got the players to play because how do you play a game when you don't know how you're getting home? You know? And he also had to help in terms of organizing the trip back. And, you know, the government also had to step in. And this is where my challenge is, Brendan. Governments are not allowed to interfere in football matters under FIFA rules, or the country can get banned. So the government can't come in and say, listen, President, you're not doing a great job. Listen, General Secretary, you're incompetent. Please leave. We're going to have a new election. If that happens, FIFA will come in and ban the country. But at the same time, if a pin drops and they're in trouble, the first thing they do is pick up their phone and call Babs Grange and the ministry and demand that they help them. Yeah. Now, because it's Jamaica and it's her job to ensure that the sports in Jamaica is safe and we have a good name, the government keeps having to fix the problem. So there is, you know, like the Boston Tea Party, there is taxation with no representation. So the government can't say nothing to them, but the government gets taxed. You know, as you can see, the corporate Jamaica has backed away from the JFF, and it's sad because for Jamaica to qualify for the World Cup, it takes more than just talented players and a talented coach. It takes the entire country getting behind them and believing in them and motivating them and making sure they're comfortable and making sure they feel like something special, like what we did in the 1998 campaign. But today, we have people who are not a part of the 1998 campaign behaving like they know what it is to get there.
Yeah.
So Tiga, what's your take on all of this?
My only question is, why can't the JFF get its house in order, like travel arrangement, and remember at one point they leave Tarek Magee at the airport, you understand, on the route to Japan. Why can't the JFF get these things, these things together? Why can't they get their act together?
The question is not why they can't get it together. The question is, are they comfortable in their ineptitude? In other words, let me give you an example. I train at Mona High School. It's the most level field in Jamaica, but it's a dust bowl when the heat comes on.
Right.
And it's difficult to play on. But I do it on purpose because when you learn skill sets and you can do your skills on that field, you can do it on any field in the world. That's where Leon was taught, Kyle, all of them.
True.
Dylan, John, Xander, Bicknell, Dovey, Whisper, all of them. And so I'm comfortable and I don't want to change. Because if I get really beautiful fields, then we won't have the edge when the boys do touch a real nice field. It's like they're in heaven and they can do all the skill sets. So is JFF behaving incompetent, saving money so that it can be used somewhere else?
So when you're talking about somewhere else, you're
Do
talking
you
about
know that you have players? Now it takes about 3.5 hours to get to Suriname. When the JFF at the time went and told most of the embassies in Jamaica that I was doing child labor,
trafficking.
child trafficking, because they did not want Leon or Kyle or Kevon to go to Europe and show them up. I had to go try to get a visa. And one of the things I had to do, I really thank Kasaf and JFF, because I'm like an authority. That's the word I was looking for. I'm the authority on how to travel.
Right.
Because I took a flight to Grenada, then a ferry from Grenada to Suriname, and then had to drive about 4 hours through a jungle.
Jeez.
To get to the town where Leon and the JFF is now. Look how life is funny, come full circle. Is now sitting there waiting on a flight. Where that game played was where we went and discovered Clearfellow, Hasselbank, and I had Godlin. Brought them to Phoenix when they were about 14, 15, 14. They came to Phoenix, went to school out here, trained with the academy, developed for about 4 years, and then went on back to Europe. And now Hasselbank is now, people know him as Clearfellow Vliter. he was the top scorer of the last Nations League that was held. He won the Golden Boot. He's from Phoenix. Leon from Phoenix. Anyway, I was telling you about the trip. So I knew how to get in and out of Suriname. So I said to Leon today, I said, Chippy, do we have history, is he? And he said, yeah, we played right on that field that we were at with Hasselbank. Robin Hood's Field. That's the name of the club. And so I nearly broke my ankle because the field was so bad, you know, but luckily he taped them. The reality is, though, that how can the JFF send a player when you can get a flight 3.5 hours direct from Suriname to Jamaica, and you send a player on about 12 different stops, so it takes him 12 hours to get from his location to Suriname. Sometimes it's to save $200.
Yeah.
So you treat my ball of them like them is some garbage.
Right.
You make save $200. What you going to do with that $200 that you save? Are you going to employ it with the youth programs? I don't think so, because your biggest spend should be the senior team.
Right.
So why are you stinging on the senior team that needs you? Yeah?
Yeah.
You see, the problem with Jamaica's football that has changed is that in the past, you had players that were playing in the local leagues, that the idea of getting to play for Jamaica presented the opportunity of somebody seeing them and they're being discovered.
Right.
So they would take anything that was thrown their way. You want me to fly 12 hours? I'll fly 12 hours. I don't care. You want me to beg you to play? I'll beg you to play. You want me to bow down? I'll bow down. But these players that are now playing have seen and tasted what professional footballers should be treated like. They understand why they need to travel in first class on long distances, because it can damage their legs, which you know happened with Leon.
Right.
Yeah? And that's how he got his first injury, traveling for 12 hours or something like that in economy. Yeah? Now, I believe that the JFF needs to stop being penny wise and pound foolish. You know, I deal with like a beggy man on the road. I deal with some top baller. If you don't show them the respect, then we disrespect you too. And you deserve it. Yeah. They have a saying, Brandon, and you hear me with it all the time. Treat a man as he is, and he shall remain that way. Treat him as he could become, and he will aspire towards it. You know why Leon Bailey is a top professional in the world now? Why he behaves the way he behaves, why he's willing to help, why he's a good person, why he's a role model, why so many people want him to be an ambassador for them. Because I didn't treat Leon when he was younger like he was a little kid from Cassava Peace, playing barefoot with bottles. I treated him from day one like the professional he could become. And I demanded that behavior. I told him every day, all of them, that you have to understand professionals are ambassadors. You have to be leaders, motivators, and more than anything else, never forget your country. Never stop loving your country.
Speaking of that, Craig, so how do you salvage now the situation? What does the JFF do, or replace, or whichever?
The most important thing now is to get the boys home in time for the game, because you don't want them coming off of a flight and having to go straight into the game.
Are
At
they
this
still
rate,
there
they're
right
going
now?
to get here tomorrow.
Oh wow, okay.
What time tomorrow?
Probably early or late tonight, because it's a charter they have to take, and it's new territory for the government, and it's new territory. I mean, you know, what I'm happy about is the fact that Chippy was able to motivate the guys to be able to go and play. That Damien and company went out there, did their best for the country. I'm sad because I think Paul is a really good person. I think he has great qualities, and the most important quality is he's willing to listen. He's a humble guy. He's willing to listen. Instead of a man willing to listen, you work with him. Because guess what now? If he listens to Craig Butler, he will get whatever knowledge that Craig Butler has, and he can siphon out of the bullshit what Craig Butler will give him. He can go to Speed, get something from Speed. He can go to Leon, learn from Leon. He can go to Damien, learn from Damien. And then he can go to a little kid on the street that will say, hey, coach, you know, you could do this, if he's willing to listen. So his potential to grow as a coach and as a human being is great compared to what Kappa was like. You know?
Yeah. It seems like he was very, very no nonsense. As soon as he tried to put up with it a bit, he wasn't having it, and he just said, "Okay, he can't work with them in that way." Is that the type of guy he was? He was very straight up.
Yeah, he was a very straight up guy, but he's also an affable person. But he also knows the difference between right and wrong. And some people are not willing to sell out, doing what's right because of politics, or because they need their job, or because somebody will pay them money. Many of the coaches that came into Jamaica was on the take from people who wanted their sons and daughters to play. I can tell you that for a fact. I won't call the names. I can tell you many of them were. Yeah? I don't think you can buy Paul Hall. Yeah? He's already a coach, a successful coach, coaching in the U19s, I believe, at Queen's Park Rangers.
Right.
Which it takes some doing to do. Yeah? I think there's more that he can add. I think the philosophy that he wants to play is finally one that will work for Jamaica. If you notice, the guys were pressing, they were attacking more creative football.
That's true. Yes,
a faster game, more transition.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't see a lot of knock all day long. You know, and this is how we need to play based off our genetics. And this is how we need to play from the top to the bottom. I watched a U20 game the other day, and they were encouraging the defenders to back off while the midfielders didn't press. That's a recipe for getting 4 or 5 love. You know? With what we have, we should be pressing up together as a unit, playing a quadratic press. And that's it. Today, we played a friendly game against Mullines under 20, right? And Valney Brown, who's from, Florida, Jamaica, that lives in Florida and does some coaching. He was the one coaching, what's the name? Mullines, U20. And the way we pressed, one of the kids turned around and he was screaming at the referee. It's a foul, it's a foul. So the referee said, why? He says, 5 men tackling me one time. What must do? Well, that, my friend, is what you call pressing. You understand? So you turn left, man, then you turn right, somebody there. Turn behind you, somebody there. And this is what we need to do, because if we're faster offensively than everybody else, it also means we're faster defensively. So it means that we can't get caught with a switch ball because we're going to get to the ball faster than the opponent. So we can afford to cheat. We can afford to do a quadratic press. And some of these coaches that are out here coaching, don't have any European experience. They don't understand. So that's why they're continuing to play the old football. They're still playing 4-3-3 or 4-4-2 and then formation. When everything has changed. They don't use more than 3 defenders like anymore. Wing backs are a thing of the past.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So we I just hope that Jamaica in my lifetime, in my time, I don't know, because I get tired. But
Yeah.
I hope Jamaica in my lifetime will listen to Leon. Because, you know, they say, you ever heard of the Trojan horse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was on the outside fighting for them to listen, fighting for them to listen, fighting for them to listen. And they wouldn't listen. Meanwhile, I was raising up a boy and saying to him, this is how you play. This is how you play. You should be pressing, you should be taking on people. This is how you play. This is football. This is what Jamaicans should be doing. And all of a sudden, that young man, boy turns into a young man. That young man turns into a top footballer. And he becomes the center of the national team. So basically, I don't have to say a word because everything that comes out of that kid, children live what they learn. You know?
What they learn.
Yeah.
So I don't have to say a word. Chippy doing
Yeah,
everything.
it's funny, Craig, because I feel like since at least I've been here as well, since Leon has joined the team, since he has started playing the senior team, even though we get these big road bumps, there's at least some change that's been happening
Right.
since he joined. You know, we from the player
Absolutely.
contracts, the
There's been great change happening. And I'm looking forward to, Shamar Nicholson coming back into the team.
yeah.
Because he's a talent. But there's been great change in terms of quality football, creativity. I'm glad Maggie is back in the team.
Right.
That is just to show you how evil Tapa was. The kid performed well against Costa Rica. I'm not happy with Maggie right now. But I'm not going to turn around, and because I'm not happy with him,
Right.
not say the truth. The kid performed great against Costa Rica, created the goal, and Tapa threw the kid away and would call him again. Why? I have to give Paul Hall credit because he was the assistant of Tapa at the time.
Right.
So he knew the player, and when he became coach, he brought him back.
He brought back the player. Yeah, that's on. Yeah, that's on. Something wrong. So look, fishy there, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the assistant coach, the senior coach, dash him away.
And then you go pick him up.
You pick him up because you know the kid is good. You know the kid has potential. You know the kid plays attacking, creative football, which is what we need. And I tell you, Whisper, who he won't play in the U20s because two things happened. He got a knock on the knee and then he got COVID. So he missed a week of training. They loved him and everything, but he missed a week of training. So I think that the best thing we can do is make sure his knee gets better and push for the first team. But here you have people saying, I heard people the other day saying, Whisper can't make the under 20. He was the best striker there. What are you talking about? By far. Every day, Renan Thomas called me about him. Yeah? So, with Whisper maturing and getting into that first team, he's now 16, he'll be 17 in a few months, and getting into professional football and, Real Sociedad loves him, several other clubs. But I want him to go to either Spain or Belgium to start, his career. Duvey, the same thing, the central defender that is now in the national team and everybody is raving about. When I was saying that they were good, everybody was saying Craig Butler is nepotistic. He's wanting his own players and all of that. And you never hear me talk about any other player but mine. And that's not true. because I can, you know, in this whole this conversation thus far, you hear me talk about Shamar Nicholson,
Right.
you hear me talk about Tyreek McGee,
Right.
yeah. So it's not like I'm just thinking about, oh, how do I push Phoenix? It's about how do I push Jamaica. Jamaica needs to be put first. I have a kid named Duncan McKenzie. That's great potential as a player, but there's something missing in his game. And I told his mom the other day I saw her, and I told Duvi to tell him as well. He doesn't send the through passes enough, and he doesn't play in the center of the pitch. He was once a left winger when he was younger, so he drifts to the left side all the time. He needs to stay in the top. If he's playing 10, he needs to stay right up in the top, right behind the striker, so that when he does, that ball does get to him, all he has to do is play it into the stride of the striker or to the wingers through the spaces, so he can create those through passes. Once Duncan does that, he's going to be a top
Number 10.
midfielder.
Midfielder. Number 10.
But he has gone to Jamaica College, my old school, so, and I love JC. Like Tyreek and so many others, and they were not complete. They did not get a proper football education. If you go into Europe, you know, Tiga,
Right.
and they speak, these are the words they use. They will say, the player's made a good progression this season, meaning he has improved over a
He's
period
improved.
of time.
Right.
And they say he has a good mentality. And then they will say, oh, he has a good football education.
Right.
We are dragging up people in this country while the other countries are raising them right. In other words, if a youth get dragged up, it means that you don't really teach him to use knife and fork.
Not right.
You give him a bowl and a spoon,
Right.
and say, hey, eat your dinner, you still get to eat.
Yeah.
Right? If you raise him up properly, he knows how to use knife and fork. So when he goes into an environment, people won't judge him. Yeah?
No.
And he'll be able to use his knife and fork properly. Knife in the right hand, fork in the left hand. Now, when football is the same, you raise a player and you just bring the player to training every day in the team training. Team training, team training, team training. How can we win Manning Cup? How can we win Coles? How can we win Pepsi? How can we win prep school and primary school? How can we win Premier League? That's all you've been doing with this kid. He will never develop his weaker foot. He'll never develop to being able to play all 3 points of attack. He'll never be able to play on the right side, left side, cross with the right foot, cross with the left foot, and vice versa, cut in and shoot with both.
Right.
So the player becomes predictable. And then we raise them up and we put them in a national team and expect them to be able to execute Paul Hall's directives. It's impossible. Because unless you're technically sound, you cannot be tactically sound. This is where the challenge is. And to be honest, if I'm honest, I'm seeing the Premier League teams trying to play more attacking, more direct, faster football. Not long ball, but good football. I'm seeing it. I see Arnett Gardens trying to do it.
Well, Waterhouse plays some good attacking football as well.
Sometimes. I saw Waterhouse play, but it's still that robust, win the ball, send the through pass, you know, play the ball around, take risks at the back. Big players, the brutal side of the game. It's not as creative as I'd want to see, but with what Teague been doing, a hell of a job down at Arnett. I can tell you that. I've seen them. It's not the results I'm looking at, and I'm looking at
the team is playing.
The development, yeah. So, I mean, you can win a league, you know, and still play ugly football the whole time. And when those players leave after winning the league and getting that trophy, they can't transition to another club.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a very thin line between developing the players to be able to transition to another level and win in a league that is very physical.
So Craig, you think say we have players to press in like in the midfield, defend and attack? You think we have those players?
In the national team?
Local and overseas.
In the national team, yes. Leon come from Genk, brother. Them man, they just press whole day. Leverkusen, press. Germany, press. Yeah? England, hard running. Because what happens is, I have found that.
But Craig, that is one player. Take out cause we see I Chilean play yesterday. They really, you couldn't believe that was a man injured, and he was playing real good.
So give him props, now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true. He come back to Jamaica.
When he got on the first time, my heart leaped.
Hold on. You didn't see me working with him?
Yeah.
If you watch along, when him got on, my heart leap, I said no. I'm gonna see him get. I'm gonna say yes, he's walking. He's not going off with the structure. It's a good thing, and him run off. I'm gonna say yeah, I'm looking good. But forget about Leon. Do we have other players that can press?
Wells played forward yesterday.
By grave him name.
He played right wing.
Flemo.
Flemo is the hardest working player on that team.
He played good too. He really played good too.
We now talk about play good. Flemo will run out him heart until him heart drop on the ground and he's dead.
Yeah.
You can't ever knock Flemo for effort. But pressing is not a singular thing.
Right.
Pressing is not something that makes you get tired. It actually, if done properly, you have much less running to do. For example, right? If you're doing what's called quadratic pressing, you have any idea what I mean when I say that?
Well, go ahead. I don't want to. Go ahead. Let me
divide the field into four quadrants.
Yes, because we used to do. Yes, four. Right.
Yeah. When the opposing goalkeeper passes the ball to say the right center half of the opponents, the entire team comes over and press in that quarter.
Right.
The center halves come up to the half line, and the team come over and press in that quarter. The center forward's job would be to run in what's called a curved run and block off the back pass back to the goalkeeper. So I'm really running in behind the man and between the goalkeeper. So he can't turn back. The winger then comes in and presses him from the left side. The central attacking midfield comes up and presses him from the middle. So that forces him. He can't go back to the keeper. He can't go wide. He can't play through the middle to his midfielder. So what do you force him to do? You have to kick the ball long.
Over the top, yeah.
Now, think of the steps that it takes for that winger to shut him down. Maybe 4 or 5 steps. For the forward, about 4 or 5 steps. For the attacking, about 4 or 5 steps. Let him kick the ball long. Then where our strengths will come into play because they're bigger, stronger, faster than everybody else.
Right.
So we just want a good center half like Nana. Head the ball back to the midfielder and we start again. Switch the play over to the other side. Take them on 1v1. Yeah, because we're faster. Remember, first 3 steps. That's all we have. That is faster than everybody else. Because anything else, if you go long ball, central defenders back off and just come forward and head out the ball. So you can't beat them that way. It has to be the first 3 steps. When the attacking midfielder receives the ball and you have him on a center half, so he's here, this is him, this is the central defender, you play the ball into the stride. So that first 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, he can peel off and run and leave that guy. But if you play it long, it's not gonna work.
Not gonna work.
When you press as a unit, you have less work to do. When you press the way I saw like the under 20 team pressing the other day, this kid Aldridge, he's a midfielder, but they had him playing forward, and you could see he doesn't understand the press because he's back in the midfield, him all on the left wing, him all over the place. And the opponent, Haberview, was able to come at the U20 team. You had a kid named Powell, Duncan, and Pearson in the midfield. All attacking midfielders, you know. All of them attacking midfielders. So nobody really wanted the tackling and the pressing and the fighting. They were all waiting, just make a little effort and then wait on the ball for you to give them so they can play.
So they can do their thing, yeah.
Yeah. So what you're doing is they're allowing those opponents come through that middle and face your central defenders 1v1, which is the worst thing you can do in a team made of Jamaican genes. Because anybody at all, you could have a Sergio Ramos. If you catch him 1v1 or you play a true pass through for the forward, there's no way you're going to stop it every time. So we have to learn how to press. We have to learn how to push up in the middle and then force them to play the ball. And we have to learn how to be disciplined enough to do it as a unit. Because with a pressing game, you know, if one man don't do it, you know,
right,
the player will go through that hole. So say, for instance, the forward don't press from behind. You give him the option to go back to the goalkeeper and then play it over the other side.
Right. Change the play.
And then the whole on over the left one side of the pitch, you have to run go over there, so which can make you tired. If the winger don't go, he can go through the winger side and play it up to his winger.
Right.
If the central midfielder attacking mid don't go, then he can just go through the middle of the pitch. So
that work as a unit, yes.
You have to work as a unit. That's why you need a system. I need to be developed properly.
Yeah.
Discipline.
I mean, one question I have is, you always preach about how not only development of players, needs to rework, but coaches need to rework too. I mean, I know one of the coaches is here talking to us right now, but what coaches out there can take this team and bring that mindset? If Paul Hall is resigning, as we're all hearing, what are the options? Who can we bring in? And that issue where all the training of the coaching here isn't there yet. There's no development in coaching. So what options could there be?
There is development of coaches here. But it is development by coaches who have not had any more development than what the last 10 coaches who developed then had. So in other words, you have dinosaurs coaching baby dinosaurs. Yeah. So you will have a Roddy Speed, who is the chairman of the technical committee, the head coach and president of Cavaliers. And he's part of the whole coaching development program. And Speed has not spent 2 months in Europe, the place where we want to sell players, the place where the best teams in the world is coming from.
Right.
So how do you prepare coaches to prepare players to compete for positions in those countries?
To know their system and how they play. So what they say.
It's not even about their system, it's about what do they do.
Right.
I brought back, you see what happened with me, why Phoenix up good enough is I went to Genk and I learned what Michel Ribeiro did. And if they don't believe me, Google Michel Ribeiro. He and I didn't get along because he couldn't kick the ball hard. He couldn't kick with the blazes. And he always wanted the players to curl the ball, pats. And I always wanted the players who had that ability to drive the ball. And I raised Leon and Kyle to be able to drive the ball, shoot with the laces. But he had the best skill sets I've ever seen in the world of football. And every morning at Genk, I was on a practicum, which is where you're allowed to follow all the training sessions and learn from the coaches and assist the coaches at the club. So I was on that practicum. So every morning at 6:30, you would have technical training. And that technical training would involve skill sets. Now, you will have up to 12-point combinations.
Right.
So some of the things that you see, Ronaldinho or Messi do, and you tack, they do all of these combos. It's not natural. It's trained and practiced and repetitive. The only thing is that they may have had, like Leon, the capacity to grasp it and employ it better than other people. It's the aptitude. But aptitude without anyone teaching you leaves you zero.
Right.
So Speed can't do a skill set to save him life. None of the coaches can. None of them. I can't now because I can still. Brandon, don't I can still do some skill sets?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I remember every time you get a chance, you go out there, you take penalties, you show the kids how to dribble a bit. Always. Yeah.
But I'm not so good anymore. I'm old and I'm crampy and my knee them don't work so good.
Didn't you just play the match? I saw the video of your.
I saw the video too. You're kicking a penalty.
Yeah.
Yes. I saw the video too.
That penalty was funny because we played against Arnett Guards in a friendly game. And Jamani Bell, who is a star from Wolmer's, and I've had him since he was like 6 or 7 years old. And I always teach him, kick your penalties with your laces. Be confident, believe in yourself, train and practice it. If you can master kicking with your laces a penalty, it's 10 times better than using your side foot.
Right.
Because the keeper has no chance of saving it once it's on target. And Jamani went to Woolman's training, because he was training with Manning Cup or whatever. And he came back. And when he went to play against Arnett, he kicked with the side of his foot and missed the penalty. I mean, vexed though, but I'm a little different from other coaches.
Right.
So we get another penalty because them foul us again in the box. So who do you think I said to kick the penalty again?
The same one.
Same one. So Jamani, go kick the penalty again. And you believe so the boy use him side foot again and miss it?
Oh my God.
When I say you, it was, when we said you crushed it up.
Right.
For like 2 weeks, him head down on the ground, him vex him, shame him. I said, Jemba. And I showed him, I said, want to kick with the lace, kick with the lace, kick with the lace. So we played a little tournament over at Duane Park. And in between the tournament, I had a Masters League game. Now, me not play for about 10 years,
Right.
Because Kasafa don't ban me. So they done my career, so we couldn't play no more Masters League. And then I get sick and so. Don't play, don't run. I do the examples for the players, that's it. So we are playing out 40 minutes to go, and I was still a Mugina, man. And it go into penalties, because the game draw.
Okay.
So it go into penalties. I said, Craig, you kick. So the whole of them over there, all of the Phoenix boys are there, and they were rail up,
Right.
Say, yes, coach, big ball. So I go over to them and I said, which foot you want me to kick it to? Them say, right. Because my right foot was broken when I was younger.
Okay.
So I started to use my left foot in Manning Cup. It broke like in the season. And just before the season. And I used my left foot for the whole season. So because them know something good with my left foot, they say, right.
Okay, they might try to test you. Right.
They might try to test me. So I say, all right. They say, where you want it go? They say, lower bottom corner. Lower bottom left corner. So, all right. He said, Jemba, watch. And I kick it hard with laces and low. On the inside, for sure you're accurate it is now. On the chinks the inside of the post.
Inside the post? Wow.
Yeah, lick the inside of the post and go in. So right after that, all the cheering and big up, big up. But right after that, they went into penalties in their game. And he had to kick. So I said the first person to kick, Jemba, right?
Right.
Yeah, so he turned around and look at me, you know. I said, you know what to do, right? They said, yes, coach. Put down the bed,
Yes.
spot the ball. Now this is like a prep school goal with big body night.
Right.
A 6 aside.
6. All right.
Jemba bust him good, man. Boom! And score. So, since that, he's been doing it. But one of the things that I'm trying to say is that if you're going to be a coach, if you have a coaching system, you have to have a technical coach and you have to have a tactical coach. If you can be both, that's great. But if you cannot be both, you need to have two. And most of these coaches, they don't. They don't. Like, I know Cavaliers don't, for sure. Yeah? And many of the coaches at Harborview, I said, I can't do it because I'm old. What I was able to do is bring back everything that I learned from Belgium, everything I learned from Germany, everything I learned from Holland. I talk club like Ajax, you know.
Right.
Club like Genk, the best of the best, you know. Bayern Munich. And bring it back home and incorporate it. So for instance, you say Ajax have some skill sets, but nowhere near Belgium. But what they're good at is what you call total football. Their transition game is just unbelievable. And their crosses and finishing, unbelievable. So it's like a Dutch player. They always find fast wingers and they're good at crossing. And that's the game. That's their game. You know, it's the center halves going forward all the time. And people, when I dissected it, I said, why do the Dutch play that way? I came across it one day. You know what it said? The Dutch people are the tallest people in the world.
Oh.
So if you're the tallest people in the world,
Yeah, go kick cross.
just cross the ball.
Yes.
Because nobody can go up there.
Nobody can catch it. Right.
You understand?
Yeah. Craig, we have this problem with the national team with crosses. Just as you're talking about crosses, we have that problem. Why they don't fix that problem with crosses? We always get beaten by crosses. Every game, that's how they beat us. By crosses.
Systems.
Right.
Roles. You cannot ask Paul Hall to link up with Leon Bailey and him compatriots 1 day or 2 days before a match. And they have a system that they play. It has to come from the under 20 coach, Fuzzy.
Right.
It has to come from the under 17 coach.
Right.
I mean, under 20 coach, but I'm funny name. A top guy though. It has to come from them, but not from them, you know. It comes from Paul Hall telling them how he wants to play. And they train the kids from under 15 come right up to play that system. Because if not, you're going to have a nana in the middle and say, yo, you mark this, you mark this, you mark this. And by the time you blink, a man free by the back post and score.
Yeah.
You have to have a system that you say, listen, automatically, this is what we do. This is who we are.
Right.
I went to Real Sociedad the other day, right, with 4 of our players. Whisper, Dante Peralta, Don Hugh Mitchell, and Dante Duncan. And I watch their games. Whisper nearly starved to death. And Whisper is a striker. He can't get a ball, he can't get a true pass. The man them knock the ball, go down on the corner flag.
Yeah.
And knock it come all the way back up to their 18 and knock it go back around. And Whisper is saying, Coach, why they not send the true pass them to me? He said, Whisper, because them don't have anybody like you around here. He said, look around you. They're all small, short, quick players. They won't win any balls in the boxes. They will not be able to make a true pass and as hard as we kick them, and you'll be able to, their forwards be able to catch them. So it don't make sense to send true passes. That's why Spanish play tiki-taka football. Right? Meanwhile, our JFF, I left the youth them in Suriname. You can't get that organized.
But Craig, all right, you're talking about systems. It need to introduce. So will employing system fix many on field on and off field the Jamaica fix facing? People think, you know what? People think that the leadership in place need to go because the system.
The leadership is not the problem. It's how the leader get there is the problem. Because if you remove my crickets right now, I'm going to vote in 13 parish associations. Because them say Kingston and St. Andrews one. So
it's one, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to vote 13 parish associations. And one of the president of them parish association will become the president. And next one will become the first vice president. And next one will become third vice president. So if a beer, I'm not saying that they are, but if you have beer idiot inside of the 14 Parish Association,
yeah.
Then if you get rid of my crickets tomorrow, is a next man like my crickets up today.
Same problem.
Let me ask this.
So the way how the presidency is chosen has to change. And that's one of the reasons I believe FIFA came down here the other day. Because the governance is not correct. You set people up for conflict of interest. Where does Dalton Wayne come from?
I don't know which one I probably
Manchester, I think. Is it in Manchester?
Yeah. He's from Manchester.
Okay.
And he's connected to teams in Manchester. He was the president of the FA in Manchester before he came here. Where my crickets come from? Clarendon. Yeah?
Yeah, that remember.
I was part of the Humble Lions, Jamalco, I think, and some other team. We used to see him on the team them when he was there. Now, in a world where you have to transfer a player to make money for your club, how you can have the man who is running the show being connected to a club?
To a club. That can't work.
When they ask me, Craig, if you want to be national coach or whatever, I said I will help them for 2 months or so to put a system in place. But I do not want to be the national coach.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to find pure Phoenix ball in it.
And I was about to say that. I'm going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask this. I don't know if you've heard, Greg, about actually Jamaica isn't the only federation going through something right now. In Canada, they were supposed to play a friendly today, but all the players weren't happy with the compensation for the World Cup that they're getting. So the players,
I heard about that.
The players chose not to play the game and is all ongoing, is demanding a new contract and a new, I guess, revenue share agreement with the Canadian Association. And from what I'm hearing is they may even threaten the next game if something's not done, which is the Nations League game. So my question is, do you think Jamaica, the players are looking at that, and do you think that could be a route for before the next match? Threaten not to play unless the change is
I think that they need to fix things
Mm-hmm.
by Monday
Yeah.
if they want to play.
But Craig,
I
if
don't think the
Paula,
players will play if Jamaica doesn't fix things.
but if Paula resign, who's the assistant coach? I don't think Jamaica have an assistant coach. If Paula resign, who's going to coach him tomorrow for Tuesday game?
That is something that the JFF have to sort out. But what I do believe is that if I believe that Paul wants the best for Jamaica's football, I believe that he sees the incompetence of the GenSec. And I believe that if the GenSec goes, that Paul Hall will rescind his resignation.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just when somebody say enough is enough.
All right.
You understand? Enough is enough.
So when did that call come? When they get home Monday, because the game is Tuesday.
Well,
The game is couple hours from now. Well,
you heard that voice note?
yeah, man, I hear the voice note.
Yeah.
That voice note is the president agreeing to fire the GenSec, you know.
Yeah, but it has to do official. When will it be official?
Well,
Later.
Sounds like
I have known Captain Burrell to wake up a man at 2 o'clock in the morning and fire.
That's the captain.
So, are you saying that Mike Ricketts is too weak? Is that what you're saying? That Mike Ricketts down the backbone to do what is right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Brother, anybody at Phoenix, including my wife, if she'd ever leave my players them stranded in our country, she'll get fired. I can tell you, my wife are the best administrator ever. Don't Brandon, Shelly?
Yeah. Does everything. Yeah.
Girl, only for trouble in her, not easy to get along with, you know. I want that. I want everything. No.
Right.
No. Get this U-time visa. No. Get him booked. No. Get him on a plane. No. And she's always come true. Between her and Nicola Bicknell, you cannot find a better team. Cannot. But how can I, with little Phoenix, get 2 top people like that and get them trained so well over the years in doing the job that is like turnkey, you know? So when we travel, the embassy them know them have know the protocol, them gone.
Right.
On visa tomorrow morning, boom, link the bank man, run the bank statement, boom, gone. If the bank is programmed, because from the minute she called, she said, what you want, Auntie Shelley? Need a bank statement for Phoenix so we can get the visa for you, them for travel. Boom. Them have it on, them just fill it out and then send it off. Because you organize and you get systems in the work.
System in place, right.
Right? The man and have no system, bro. They need to get, and everybody, they just need to play a little football in the Premier League and beat up some of the man who is not as competent. So it's like, you ever heard the saying that one-eyed man is king in the land of the blind?
Yeah, because the one can see, you're right.
You can see through one eye.
You can see through one eye.
100%. But he's king because he can see. That is what is happening in Jamaica's football leadership. You don't see people like a Bruce McNeil or a Craig Butler or a Chris Daring or anybody who has been truly successful in business or in sports actually taking on the mantle of the presidency of the JFF since Captain Burrell.
Right. And that's a shame.
And it's not just a shame, it's a problem. It's a serious problem. Tony James, he was also a good football administrator. You know, what happened? Why are we still in a situation where you have a system of qualification to become president of the JFF, vice president, GenSec, etc., that does not account for anybody outside of their circles? In other words, if you don't come from one of the FA them,
Yeah, you can't get a job. That don't make
you
no
can't
sense.
get the job. So how do
That don't
you,
make no
you,
sense.
you understand what you call
Yeah.
inbreed? You ever watch Wrong Turn yet? That movie?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, I seen
Yes.
that. Yeah, long, long
Wrong
time.
Turn is where some hillbillies live up in the hills
Right.
and they keep interbreeding until them start to deform and
Yeah,
disgusting. And you make a wrong turn and you buck up in them and them eat you and do all sort of things to you. That's what's happening in the JFF. It's the same people are recycled over and over and over and over and over. No new blood, no fresh blood,
No fresh blood. Need to
no
get
Chris
rid of that.
Daring.
Right.
Right? Look at Chris Williams. Them just give him the Premier League for
Premier
the
League. Right.
and the Premier League I take step by step. I'm doing better and better. Doing better and better. Why? Because a man who coming in with a business acumen and some experience in marketing try to do the thing.
Right.
It's not perfect, but 10 times better than what it was before. You know? Why don't we have proper people with business experience going into that JFF?
Right.
Why not pay a proper GenSec some decent money out of the money them where you get from FIFA and the winnings that they're getting that they're not giving the players?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Why don't you get someone in charge of a technical committee that actually has some technical experience?
Right.
Why not develop, send away 8, 9, 10 young, talented coaches, the up and coming coaches? The brother that were named Fergie, over JC, take him and send him go to Belgium for 2 years.
Right.
Make him do a practicum like I did for 2 years. And I guarantee you when him come back, he'll be nothing like he is now. Nothing. He'll be a totally different person. These are the problems that we have, and these are the solutions. But here are the part of the problem.
You're talking about Devon Ferguson, right?
Yeah, Ferguson, the coach at Jamaica College.
Right.
Now, if I can go to Mona,
the JFF now gonna send him because him call out JFF. So them now gonna send him.
Brother, listen. I call out JFF. Leon call out JFF. Don't he's the main player in the team now?
Oh God.
Leon said, if they do not make it to the World Cup, it will be the JFF's fault.
Yes, he did say that. And it's sure. Listen, Leon said a lot of things. And so this guy is a very professional guy. He said, the first thing he said Jamaica should not mess up the chemistry that they're trying to build. Right? He said, JFF, don't mess up the chemistry because you can't have players coming in. If you do that, you're going to mess it up.
So like 72 players in a World Cup campaign?
Yeah, the comments come in, Craig. The comments come in. Go and go play football. Loud that to the JFF. Shut up your mouth. Go and go play football. And it come to pass. The chemistry was not there at all. Leon
right now
said it before.
You know what came out of that? Let me tell you what came out of that. Same Dalton went, go in a newspaper and said, Leon Bailey is to seize. I'm giving him a Leon Bailey a cease and desist order.
Right. I remember. Yes, I remember it.
And I said at that point, Chippy, don't say another word.
Yes.
And I take them on. I said, how you want to give somebody a cease and desist order when you have no contract with the player? You can say anything and do anything you want. You can't tell him nothing.
Right.
So if you want to be able to be in a position to tell him something, you need to sit at the table and you need to give a contract to the players that is fair and logical. You cannot have players traveling 12 hours in economy. You cannot have players with no understanding of what they're going to get paid. You just pay them when you feel like paying them. When you feel like paying them. When you collect up the people their money. No. So what came out of that is they did get a contract. I think it should have been a better contract for both parties, because things like this would not have happened if they had a better contract.
Right.
Yeah? And the whole not wanting to play, not going to play, none of that, all of that would have been covered under a contract. Yeah? Because in that contract, you should have put, for example, if you fail to provide us with proper travel arrangements, these are the compensation that you, the JFF, would have to do. In other words, suppose a man can beat up another man every day and there's no punishment for it.
Right.
Them can beat him up every day. But if you know that if you do not provide proper air transport for them, or you do not have everything in place, there's a penalty to the JFF, which they'll have to pay. There's no argument, you know. You mess up, we're going to get some money from you. Right. So guess what you're not going to do? You're not going to mess up. But if you're adult and Winton, believe that anything you want, you can do.
Right.
And you're a king. And you pompously look at people. You know, I remember one time, I wanted to go to a game. Now, I am regarded in Jamaica as Craig Butler, Leon Bailey, the manager.
Right.
In Europe, I have the respect of the teams. I earn my respect as a manager. Yeah? Phoenix was number 19 in the world in terms of gross transfers done. Phoenix All-Stars Football Academy was ranked number 1 in the world, the number 1 privately owned football academy in the world, simply because of the players that we produced. Not because we have great fields or not like that in our facilities, you know. Simply because we produced Leon Bailey, we produced Kemari, we produced Kevin Atkinson, Travis Blagrove, Romario Williams. The whole of these players came out of that little academy, and they're all playing professionally at some level somewhere in the world.
Right.
While other academies are not doing that. Yeah? So the question is, why are we going to have JFF treat me some little foo-foo way? I wanted to go to like the not the royal box. There's a reception, because I was supposed to meet with one of the heads of CONCACAF. Yeah?
Right.
Same thing there now. And him? General Secretary?
Wind.
Yeah. No, we don't have any space for you to go in there. I'll never forget, Horace Reed organized it for me the same day.
Right.
And I went in and I met with Randy Harris today, the head of the Barbados FA, and I think first vice president of the CONCACAF.
Yeah, he's president of CFU.
And president of the CFU. I met with him today, and he was discussing with me and saying, Craig, boy, wow, you know, what you've done with the academy, we'd love to replicate it in Barbados and all of these things. Who I say come in him like a red suit. Same, what name?
Went.
Dalton went. Hey, Craig, when you see me, you know, I'm with the dignitary and we're discussing business.
Right.
Hey, Craig, how you doing? As if we are
friends.
We are friends. You know me still already. I'll know me not answer him. You know? And these are the things I've taught Leon to be this way. I've taught Leon to stand up for himself.
Right.
To stand up for others who are less fortunate and weaker than him, and to be a leader. And that is what that young man is doing. He's out there. He said to the team, "Come on, let's go play." And they went out and played, motivate them, doing everything that he can. You would not have known from that game that they were having internal problems.
I said that on the program, and we were saying that they had a bad second half and stuff like that. But when everything comes out now, you couldn't believe that the team was really being professional and play. You just
exactly. They stood up, and it's a testament to that team.
Yeah,
we should have a lot of respect for them.
Of
know
course.
one of the things that I really like about Babs Grange, as a minister of sport, that lady really loved the youth. She loved the sports people. She have fun doing it.
Right.
She actually cares. She was raised in an environment that made her Jamaica special to her. And I think the JFF is doing an injustice to the Ministry of Sport and to the Sports Development Foundation. There's so much more that should and could be done through the SDF, the government, and the JFF and FIFA for this country's football. Proper fields, proper education programs. All right. I can pick up my phone right now.
Right.
Call Dimitri the Contact Gang. Yeah? I can call Anderlecht. I can call Andrea Berta at Atletico Madrid. Eric Bretos over at Real Sociedad. Overmars leave, but Edwin van der Sar is at Ajax. Yeah? Leverkusen, Aston Villa. And I could say to them, I'm asking you to take 2 of our promising young coaches from the Jamaican national training pool. And we want them to do a practicum with you for 6 months, just to learn how a proper football club executes and develops systems, develops the youths, all of these things. Can you take them for us? And they would say yes. Because they stand to benefit.
Right.
If we bring any more Leon Baileys.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they will work with us.
Sure.
Yeah? But guess what? Them man, they can't get past the secretary. You get me?
Yes.
But because of the respect I've earned the hard way. Yeah, I never go and kiss up to anybody. I went and I cleaned the toilets if I have to clean the toilets. Go and stand in the freezing cold if I have to stand in the freezing cold. But make sure I learn and make sure that I maintain my self-dignity and respect. Yeah? So, at the end of the day, we ended up, give me a second. 1 second. At the end of the day, we ended up with an opportunity which is not used to develop our coaches. You understand, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that we should be doing a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah, and we'll see if action is taken, like you said.
Yep.
By morning, because it looks like it needs to be done. So we'll keep an eye on that. And just overall, feel for the fans too. Fans have to deal with this too. The fans want to cheer for Jamaica. They want to cheer for their country, and sometimes it makes it hard to do that. But I mean, everybody here, thanks for joining in. They all want positive change. They want to be able to cheer for their team and not have to go through this. So the fans also hurt from it, and we have to just hope that people.
Let me show you what Leon was saying to me one day before this happened. He said, because I manage all of his business. So he says, Coach, can you call Flo? Can we organize that I go around in a bus, get tickets, and give out to kids and people with a Flo shirt, and encourage them to come to the game to support the national team?
Right.
Because we want to see the stadiums filled again. This is what the kid's mindset is. That's what he wanted to do for his country. He wanted us to get back to where we were in 1998. With all due respect, boss, Mr. What's his name? Dalton Wint?
Dalton Wint.
You got to go.
Well, the game not gonna play on Tuesday.
Your time
is up. Expire.
Your behavior, your pompous nature, your unwillingness to be flexible and to learn is way past time. I remember when I wanted Leon and Kyle to represent Jamaica. Went in his office, and if you ever see how the man deal with you, brother.
Yes.
How you deal with that child, a young man, he will not forget it when he's an adult, a powerful person. Deal with people the right way. I'm sure if Dalton made this mistake and he was a humble, nice guy and didn't go on like he was anything bigger than the youth them.
Right.
And I said, boy, Dalton, you mess up in a brethren, but you're my brethren still. Come, I could try go through. I could find a way. Chip it where you can do.
Right.
At the end of the day, Leon had to call and call in some favors. I had to also do some work. The minister. Wow.
Yeah,
tell you something. We will never, I do not believe, and I'm not really a political man, Let's tell you straight, based off our works. I do not believe we will ever find a better minister of sport than Babsy Green. When I spoke with her, I could hear the hurt in her voice,
Wow.
She worry about you with them, She fret about them. Genuinely care. Look at that young lady that hurt her, break her foot. Immediately. How do you have a sports ministry like that and you're not trying to partner and work with them for the development of the football in the country?
Right.
How do you have somebody with my connections, experience, and knowledge, and you're not trying to use that for the benefit of the country?
Right.
You're just damn selfish and bad mind, man. You need to go on a yard.
True.
I'll step out of the way of progress. Jamaica should be challenging for the World Cup.
Right. World Cup.
Not trying to beg a place to get in.
Right.
We should be we're the fastest human beings on the planet. Some of the smartest people. The most creative, successful people. We're bringing up people reggae music. We get people. The first open heart surgery was done by a Jamaican janitor. You didn't know that? A janitor.
I didn't know that.
Man used to clean the place of the hospital every night. And I'm watch. And I say, hey, I bet yourself you do this, and this. And he sat down and spoke with the doctor about it and tell him. And eventually, the doctor made him do it. The two of them in the hospital room, bring him in and make him do it. People never know. Years after, they made a monument to him at the hospital and acknowledged it. You knew that, Brandon?
I had no idea.
Never learned something.
Google it. Who did the first open heart surgery? A Jamaican janitor.
Battery go.
My battery dying too, so I think we need to end for the night.
Yeah. It's a heated night. I mean, popular. So everybody, please like, subscribe, share. We'll be back.
Any comments there, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of comments just saying, you're talking truth. Try to, beat and teach. There's a lot of things. A lot of people calling for you to step in, but you kind of already did behind the scenes. So we got to hope, things, things get better.
I want
Yeah.
to say this again to all those parents that are out there, because we have children and we sometimes doubt ourselves. Never you compromise your principles because you fear losing the love of your child. The only thing that we can leave behind that cannot be spent by our children. Brandon, you have a young daughter. Listen.
I'm in her room. Yeah.
The only thing that we can leave to our children that cannot be spent, it is not the car, it is not the bank account, it is not the house, because they can spend all of those in a day. The only thing is simply our principles, what we stood for. So they may strain them, but at the end of the day, they're going to say, what would daddy do?
Right.
What would be his position? And if they're doing what they know is wrong, not what daddy would approve of, eventually they'll go back to it. They'll rebel, but they'll go back to it. Raise up a child in the way that he should grow. And when he's old, he shall not
depart from it.
I am proud of Leon Bailey and the work that he's doing.
Tell you.
Proud. Chippy, keep going. And I'm proud of his teammates.
Yes.
Because they're not backing down and laying down and taking foolishness from incompetent people. They're calling them for their incompetence. They're saying what you're doing is wrong.
It's wrong.
And we're not accepting it as a nation. We want to get better. You see, if it was like that, the man would just come on a vacation in a Suriname, relax a little bit. You miss a flight, no problem.
I was surprised.
Go check some girls, have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the man must say, no, you need to go because we need to get this right.
We need to get this right.
And the coach is with them because the coach has said, listen, get it right. Because I'm not going to waste my time coming here to coach with your incompetence. You think you're going to give a basket
water
like Tapa?
Right.
You think I'm going to stand up and make up my face and don't say a word the whole match? Like Tapa? No. That guy, Paul, he's working hard with the team. Leon likes him. The players like him. And he's willing to listen. When you look at all the great coaches in the world, all the top international coaches, you ever notice the bond that they have with the players?
Yes.
You ever you think Ancelotti is the smartest tool in the shed, sharpest tool in the shed in terms of coaching?
No.
Technically and tactically, no. But you know one thing him have?
The respect of the players.
The love of the players. Them man, they will run through walls for Ancelotti. Him and them move together. Look at Liverpool's coach. It's the same thing. Klopp. My name? Klopp?
Yes, Klopp.
Yeah? Same thing. Every successful coach has to bond with his players. And they have to want to play for him. I was looking at somebody the other day and then I'm going to leave on with this. They said to me, what does it take to be a good player? I said 20% is ability. 40% is coachability, which means you listen to the coach, you're able to execute his directives, you have respect and manners. And the other 40% is self-discipline. You understand?
Yes.
Leon came out here on his vacation,
Mm-hmm.
and we were up at 7 o'clock every morning up at JFF, me and him, the baby and his girlfriend, and Phoenix Elites, training, working on his ankle, working to make it stronger, working to make him doing yoga. He's like, Beef, what is this yoga about? I said, do it. Okay, coach. You understand?
Right.
See that? Played, and him look like him all right.
Yeah. All right.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Yeah. Great show.
Love you, Brandon.
Yeah.
Great having you on our show, Tigger.
Yes. Thank you, Craig, for inviting me.
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure.
All right, guys. Everyone, have a good night.
Have a good night,
Yeah, like up the channel. Brandon, what happens when they like the channels?
When you like the channels, more people will see it and more people will come watch. So everyone, just please like,
smash that like button.
Yeah, and we'll get recommended to more people. So
hey, then do that then now. Guys, do the like thing first, because
yeah, man, smash that.
I don't really know a lot about this, and I just use
subscribe.
This as a medium to get it out. So subscribe and like and
share and like
all of those things, so more people can see the show.
Right.
So more people will understand what we're trying to accomplish and help us.
Definitely.
Right? All right, guys.
Yeah.
Bless.
All right, everyone.
Bless.